reported in today's newspaper. We'll begin with what is running in the New Vision today. Museveni writes to William Ruto. It's in the New Vision today, what he's saying and what he intends to talk to him about. Of course, there was a congratulatory message all in today's New Vision. And also Raila Odinga rejects results for IEBC. Both these are the ones that were not present as they announced the President Ruto's victory. And also in today's New Vision, Uganda to buy power from Kenya, and also border census. Border riders, they had to go through reading of forms as they registered their borders in Rubaga Division, Kampala yesterday. The government is carrying out a border census in Kampala, and the exercise, which began on Monday, will run till August the 31st. It's today's New Vision. And also the Education Ministry explains the increase in school fees. The details are on page 12 of the New Vision. And 10 new cities get over 314 billion shillings. See which cities those are and how they got those all that money. And in the Daily Monitor today, cargo trucks diverted over Kisumu protests. These trucks were destined to Kenya via the Busia border, and they were diverted through Mumias Road in Kakamega County in Bungoma and Eldoret after violent protests broke out in Kisumu following the announcement of Kenya's presidential results on Monday. These results declared President Ruto as the president-elect of Kenya, and protests broke out in some parts of Kenya. Moving on, Cabinet clears plan to buy electricity from Kenya, and also members of Parliament task education to regulate school fees. It should be noted that the prices of food have gone up, and they say that's the reason why many schools have hiked. Find the details in today's Daily Monitor. And also, scientists want new booster TB jab for adults. And also queries as members of Parliament discuss Uganda Airlines salaries. Get these stories and more in today's Daily Monitor. And also there are job opportunities displayed in the Daily Monitor. Now allow me to take you straight into news happening on the international scene. We'll start with what's happening in Kenya. And the European Union has commended Kenyans for peaceful elections and urged parties to resolve remaining concerns through legal means. The European Union said it has taken note of the results by the IEBC declaring Mr. William Ruto winner of the election and decision to appeal by Mr. Raila Odinga. Mr. Odinga, run-up in Kenya's presidential election on Tuesday, rejected the results as null and void and a democratic setback. Mr. Odinga narrowly lost to Mr. Ruto, who was declared the winner with 50.5% of the vote. Mr. Odinga's case is bolstered by the fact that the 4 of the 7 electoral commissioners, including Vice Chairperson Juliana Cherera, took the extraordinary step of rejecting the result. Ms. Cherera said it was full of mathematical absurdity that defies logic, and if one added the percentages as announced by the Commission's chairperson Wafula Chebukati, the sum came to 100.1%. Well, we'll be bringing you details of that story later on. And moving on to neighboring Rwanda, UK ministers who backed sending asylum seekers to Rwanda were warned by their own advisor that its government tortures and kills political opponents. The warning came weeks before the British government tried to send asylum seekers to the African nation. The advisor raised concern about the tone and accuracy of an official note on Rwanda's human rights record. There is an ongoing legal challenge against government attempts to keep more of the comments secret. And also in the United States, the U.S. President Joe Biden has signed a $700 billion bill that aims to fight climate change and healthcare costs while raising taxes mainly on the rich. The act includes measures to take good on decades of congressional promises to curb the price of prescription drugs. The final version is more modest in scope than the $3.5 trillion package first envisaged by Democrats. A flagship of Mr. Biden's agenda, the bill could provide a boost ahead of the midterm elections. Voters casting their ballots in November will decide whether Mr. Biden's Democrats retain control of Congress for 2 more years. Voters in the United States of Wyoming have ousted Congresswoman Liz Cheney, a rare Republican critic of former President Donald Trump, in a primary election. She has been trounced by a relative political newcomer and Trump-backed candidate Harriet Hageman. Ms. Cheney, who is age 56, was one of only 2 members of her party to join the congressional committee investigating Mr. Trump's attempts to cling to power. The 3-term Congresswoman was once a rising Republican star. All 10 Republicans who voted to impeach Mr. Trump after his supporters attacked the U.S. Capitol building in January last year have been targeted in a scorched earth campaign of revenge. And finally, about the Ukraine war, a week after an apparent Ukrainian attack on a Russian military base in occupied Crimea, an armed store at another military facility has been hit by a series of explosions. Blaming sabotage, Russian officials said a fire triggered the blast in the Zankoy area. Another fire hit a power station and a railway was damaged. A string of blasts last week destroyed Russian warplanes at a Black Sea base on the Crimean coast. Ukraine has not admitted that the attack as yet. Advisor Kylo Podolyak has described the latest incident as demilitarization in action, indicating that the explosions were not accidental. Well, as I wind up, I remind you of the Karamoja cry. Last night we were able to load 50 metric tons of food relief and taken to Karamoja. It was such a powerful time when we were loading food aid to Karamoja. We are still collecting more money to take more food aid to Karamoja. What you saw about the people of Karamoja dying of hunger is not an artistic impression, or it is not an exaggerated picture. That people are dying for real. That is why we are taking food relief to Karamoja. We are delivering an appropriate food diet that includes pumpkin seeds, it includes oats, it includes milk, it includes millet flour. It's all combined together and is going to be delivered to each household. 50 kilograms of food relief is going to be delivered to each household, and it's made up of nutrients that will help them get back on their feet immediately, and they will be able to save their lives. Please join us by sending your seed to the numbers that will be available during the services. God will richly bless you, and you will have sown a seed and saved a life in Karamoja. These are our own, and it's time to save our own, like the Bible says. Last night, 50 metric tons of food was flagged off and set off to Karamoja. And next week we will be delivering another. God bless you as you give. Well, that brings us to the end of this morning's news update. I remain Masiga Shegu Sembatia. I remind you of the riot rally that is happening this Saturday. Bring your young children. You will be blessed. God bless you. Good morning.